What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Very dapper,
Pretty
Very
good.
demure? Very demure?
very demure, very
That's good.
mindful, very cutesy.
All right. Well, I'm excited to introduce Dark Undead Spawn. Is that what you want to be called?
Yeah.
All right. So, Dark is a highly skilled level designer known for his incredible work in Unreal Engine. Not only has he contributed some amazing levels to Bloodbound, which is the game I currently work on, but he has also been developing his own game called The Cult. Dark brings a lot of creativity and knowledge to the world of game design. So today he's going to share his insight from his journeys, tips, maybe inspirations and environments that he has created. So uh, without further ado, let's welcome Dark Spawn Undead. So
You said my name backwards, but that's cool.
Dark. Oh, wait, it's Dark Undead Spawn, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I
Just
always
being
get them
fancy
confused.
with the
It's
title, you know?
Spawn
it.
Spawn is the character.
Right,
Remember
right.
Spawn?
Yeah, and is Dark Undead another character?
I just kind of like I played this game back
Mm-hmm.
then.
Right.
There was a version. There was like a version of Spawn that was Dark Ages Spawn. So instead of calling him Dark Ages Spawn, like with my name,
Mm-hmm.
I just put Undead because he's also dead.
Gotcha. Oh, I
So
see. I see.
Dark Undead Spawn. That's why I came up with the name.
Very morbid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spawn's a very underground character.
I just think
Yeah.
of a
Actually,
clown.
actually, if it
The
wasn't for a
clown.
friend I had in elementary, I would have not known about Dark. He brought his comics. He was a backpack kid, and he brought his comics. He entered and he
Very
showed me the
underground
world.
character.
It was pretty
Really?
interesting. Yeah,
Oh, the comics were really dark, weren't they?
yeah, they were. They
I
had
was
like
really.
I think they had like a Marvel vibe to them. Not sure they're not,
Did
but I don't think they're not Marvel, right? It's
they
its
bring
own entity.
And it's his own identity.
Yeah.
my, my ghost?
So, Dark, do you want to show us some levels from the cult or from Bloodbound first? I'll leave it up to you.
Uh, I'll probably show you.
It's got going
Uh,
on.
see. I'll probably show you Bloodbound first.
All right. Yep.
I'm kind of
Uh,
struggling to open the cult right now.
okay.
Uh, I'll try
Uh,
my best to
when
explain everything.
I guess you could start off when you started modding for that one zombie game. Remember that mod or that level design you showed me back in the days?
Was it a
Oh
crime here?
yeah. Uh, no, not Crave here. It was Land of the Dead.
Yeah. Is that what got
Oh,
you? Is that what got you
Yeah,
inspired?
yeah, it got me inspired. I even have it on my desktop, like right here.
wow. Ooh, I like your wallpaper.
Oh, thank you.
You know what the cult art reminds me of? The
Yeah,
one that you
the
have back
wallpaper
there?
is fire indeed, man. I'm kind of
It, it,
jealous.
it gives me 80s horror vibes. Like
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for.
yeah,
I was
for
going for the
sure.
80s horror
The
vibe.
the
And
artist is very creative. Too bad he wasn't able to create one for me.
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah, he either got intimidated or got or ran out of time. But
wait,
I
you
understand.
guys got an actual artist for the cult designs for this?
Yeah, of
yeah,
course.
I got,
That's
yeah.
hard to
Wow.
do.
So I'm sorry. I'm like curious now. Was he like a random like guy you guys just hired from the market, from like the exchange?
He's a guy that I hired from Fiverr, and
Oh,
he actually did a really good job. I actually was kind of intimidated to try and get like get anybody else because his looked the best because his was like horror like oriented, and that's what I needed. All the other ones were like mobile looking art, and I didn't like that at all. So I
Yeah.
kind of like stayed clear of that.
Yeah, they say
Yeah.
that the biggest investment that is recommended is your Steam capsule or your cover art if you're selling your game on Steam,
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
because that
yeah,
what
yeah.
pretty much attracts your audience.
How's my stream, by the way?
So far, so
Um,
good. I
Vampire Eric looking pretty fancy right there.
Yeah, I got inspired by a different game when I did this. I was just like, oh man, I gotta add a little of that pizzazz to it. For the longest time, I had trouble with the hair. The hair was always glowing white, so I had to make my own hair shader.
Wow.
yeah, as a level
Yeah,
designer, shaders really roll into it, huh? And the
yeah,
materials. Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
you really got good at that for sure.
You you really gotta understand your shaders when you design your levels because it's highly important.
Wow.
Yeah.
What makes
So
what
this is
makes them
what it
important?
consists of.
Oh,
You made that from scratch?
Mhm.
Huh.
it's
That's above
that
that's
hairstyle from L'Oreal.
that's above my pay grade.
You what?
Yeah,
I just
and I'm using the shading model hair.
oh
It's two-sided because all of these hair strands were only one-sided, so you have to check off two-sided so that it all registers, or else if I don't do that, I don't want to do it right now. It might actually cause a, let me see. I'll just do it for fun.
Okay.
Let's see.
you
Let's
gave
see
him
what it
that
looks like.
paper cuts look.
It's gonna look kind of funny. It
Oh,
might,
I see.
yeah. Like when you look,
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
it looks a
Hey,
little
You made it.
translucent. You can still, you could, he looks kind of like he's balding or something.
Ah, okay, makes sense.
that
Then
actually
when
looks
you
like a good
just,
skin with the red hair.
and then it comes back,
Oh what?
it's full.
Hey, you should showcase the latest map that you're working on for Bloodbound. That's coming soon.
What? New map?
Okay.
Yeah, it's called the farmhouse. We actually did it. We actually scratched it out from the game and we revamped it. It's a completely new level, and he's working with the 3D modeler Shanitz, the one and
Oh,
only
Shanetz.
Shanitz.
Shanitz. I don't know why, but his name, every time I think of his name, I just think of like one of those like sealed hot dogs. You know the sausages? Don't know why.
Oh, okay. I think I know
You
what you're
know
talking
those
about.
old school like
Yeah.
sausages?
I
Yeah,
thought,
it's
I thought his name was pronounced Cyan, but like, he's like, oh man, I'm not trying to be a color, because cyan is a color.
It is.
yeah,
I used to call him that too.
yeah. I used to call him Science a lot.
Like, bro, your name too complicated. I'm just calling you Chanitz from now on.
Yeah.
That's why
what's
I
up with
changed his
that
name to
name?
Janet's.
Yeah, what's up with that name change? Like both of you, like you went to Doc Undead Spawn or something.
Wait,
Yeah.
now you're D dot 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 if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, what? I don't see that.
Oh, that's what I saw. Maybe it's just because
Oh, it's OBS. OBS is covering the names.
Oh,
oh, okay. Is it me or does Dark Sound Shop? Oh yeah, because he's loading the map.
yeah,
Obviously,
yeah, yeah.
he needs the new
Good.
Ryzen 7 900
I
9000
need new computer stuff altogether.
You know what?
with the 5090
You're not
RTX.
alone on that. You're not alone
Yeah.
on that. I'm waiting for that cyber.
Oh, Roxy, you should tell him
What's up?
about about the new game that you try to play? Oh, Ark, right?
Oh my god, I just realized I need an upgrade. When I found out when I bought Dark Ascended and I realized I couldn't play it. It was just way too choppy on the lowest setting. It felt like I was ready to cry. My heart broke because I was all like starry eyed when I saw like the new graphics and everything, and I realized I couldn't play. I knew it because it crashed on the character creation.
Yeah.
It was so sad. I was like, yes, I have finally got the game. Then he couldn't even launch it. Had to return it. It's not optimized, I feel. The game,
Hmm.
it needs
Mm-hmm.
serious optimization. Like it's really not stable. And it's unfortunate because it looks really beautiful. It's on Unreal Engine 5.
Hmm.
It I was actually able to make a character before my computer crashed. The details are pretty good.
You haven't opened up the level in a while,
Yeah, it's been a while. So I also like had to reinstall Windows, so
huh? Oh,
Oh,
gotcha.
you guys can still hear me all right?
Yeah, I
yeah.
can.
Okay. Yeah, the it's been a while. I all the cache and all that stuff I upgraded recently,
Oh, I
which
see.
is let's see, I got 2 terabyte right there.
Hmm.
I don't know if you can see it.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, I
that's
saw. You
good.
got that upgrade though.
Yeah. That way, like when I now that I open up applications, everything's not gonna crash on me.
Okay. So I guess while we wait, I guess I'll ask you a series of tips for inspiring level designers. You got any tips that you might have? Maybe any must avoid mistakes to warn beginners about? Maybe the file
Uh,
structure.
I would avoid trying to create your level without actually planning it out.
Okay. Meaning that you recommend.
I recommend actually drawing it on paper, thinking of a plan to come up with specifically for your level. That would consist of making a block out of your level before you start adding art to it.
Okay.
That
That's
way you
actually
Was
can get kind of an idea of what exactly how your level is. Think about what kind of mode are you making? Are you making a single player? Are you making a multiplayer? Is it going to be teams? Is it going to be like everyone fighting each other? And if it is team based, is your game competitive? If your game's competitive, then you want to have multiple routes to get to a certain area. If your game is objective, then you would essentially create the multiple routes and think about the strategy
right
on
on.
those bases and just pretty much start creating the block out and
Hmm.
then you add your art in.
Right on. Yeah. Another thing I did like, or what I like that you do, is that you add a UE UE5 mannequin to the level to kind of scale how the character is gonna be
Yeah, yeah.
in
I use the mannequin as a scale basis, so that way I can get an idea how big the level is. Because
yes,
you, without any like actual measurements, you can't really get it correct all the time. So I use the mannequin to get measurements.
yeah. So yeah, that's actually a good tip. I would give
is.
young devs. Yeah, especially if you are using like bigger models, make sure to insert your custom model so you can scale the world to that model. Fortunately for
Yeah,
us, we're using models that are the same size as the UF5 mannequin.
yeah. So it really didn't matter at that point. But if you are modeling your own characters at a certain scale, then it's best to use your own models for scale.
Right. Like for example, if you're using or you're making a dinosaur game. Oh, you're loading two games. Oh, the cult, right?
Yeah, the cult.
Oh, okay.
Cult shouldn't take very long. Let me see how many. Uh, Hopefully I'm not running out of RAM, which would be really weird. Okay, it's not complying, but
Yeah, just let it
everything
think.
is loading. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's definitely a good tips. Blocking out your level first. Pretty much starting from scratch, drawing it maybe,
Yep.
perhaps, then
Yep.
making
Outlining.
small blocks.
Start
Yeah.
just create the layout what you want to make. I
It's
mean,
a it's a
a lot
very
of the
brainstorm.
before that I was creating was essentially Counter Strike in mind, because that's all I pretty much played, and Call
Right.
of Duty. So I kind of had the multiple route already in mind.
Right.
But you know,
I rem
before,
yeah. I remember that you were having problems with Bloodbound at the beginning because it was an asymmetrical game, and like you said, you only had Counter Strike in mind,
Mhm.
which was a symmetrical game. So I saw that later on you started thinking about gameplay, like you said.
Yeah, I started to really think about gameplay and art style, which is highly important.
Yeah,
Uh, Honestly, from the time that I've known Dark, you've really come a long way.
most definitely. Yeah,
Like I remember your first map that I saw.
I think it was
I
the
Yeah,
was
graveyard, right?
yeah, it was a graveyard.
I was in awe. I
That
love it was so old school and the colors.
It was a good looking map, but
It
I
was
but I know it used to bog the heck out of our PCs because you weren't level designing with optimization in mind.
Yeah, and think of this, like I was coming from, games such as like Land of the Dead, which was a very old game and a very old engine that didn't really need any optimization in mind.
Right,
Everything was pretty much baked. There was no dynamic lighting whatsoever.
right.
So I essentially came from like, doing modding, which
wow.
really did not need that because all the engines were automatically optimized for you when I was using them.
I think we all came from modding. I came
Yeah.
from like Half-Life 1 and 2, but mostly I want to say 2. And then Roxy also modded models for JK2 and
I forgot.
dude, you remember remind me of the software called Milkshake. I don't know if you ever
I
heard of
didn't
it, Dark.
know it was the first one.
Uh
Milkshake
oh
3D.
Yeah.
oh yeah, such a that's a really old program.
I
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
I
remember
know,
the
right?
I remember I made sketch like a animation, a simple like raptor animation where they run and jump. We were trying to
Right.
make a simple
It
animation
was a
and
pretty cool program. It got the job done.
it looked dirty.
I'm
It didn't
pretty
Oh
even
man.
jump. It didn't
I'm
even
pretty
jump.
sure.
It just
Hey, who knows? It probably inspired Blender.
Maybe.
Hey,
who
I
knows?
wonder if the developers of Milkshake worked on Blender.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Possibly.
Right.
Shit was
We
so good for its
w-
time.
we need to
It
look
was
that
a
up.
free program, but it like
It was buggy.
I
I
don't know,
remember
like
it would
I
crash.
tried it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would try it, but I was like so confused on what to even do, so I just kind of like gave up immediately when I just
That's how
it's
I
like,
feel
oh,
when
you can
yeah.
use Milkshake for modding stuff in Land of the Dead. And I took a crack at it 1 minute, and I was like, nope,
Yeah.
I'm done.
It
That's how
is
I feel when I open up
it
Blender.
it's
Would you
not
say,
that
Roxy?
bad. No, it's just crazy because I'm just reminiscing of the time that you also were trying to teach me how to map level design last time.
Hmm.
And I remember like I did not know what was going on. I didn't understand a thing. I was just like in over my head. But now I realize as someone gets older, they start to kind of like see things more clearly, like they can dissect when I got on Blender for the first time, I was a little overwhelmed, but then I realized, hey, it's not that different from Photoshop. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except you just gotta get familiar with
The
keys,
program, yeah,
shortcuts and whatnot.
yeah. I finally understand the shortcuts now. Like, I understand the memes
Oh,
because that's how I felt. It it's like Unreal Engine. I need to tackle that. There's something I need to tackle still.
Yeah. If you're
It's
gonna know about Unreal Engine, is that you need to know shaders. If you're gonna import your models into Unreal Engine, you need to use a specific format, which is two formats are OBJ and FBX. FBX specifically, there's different versions for that. So like there's the one you can use for animation. There's other ones you can import your skeletal mesh and all together your props.
wait, you can import
Yeah,
OBJs?
you can import OBJs.
Oh my
OBJs are
goodness.
strictly to props though.
Yeah, I know
And
that.
this is where
yeah,
the noob in me comes in and asks, what does this stuff mean?
So you know in Blender when you hit
Not
save
me.
as. Okay, you know in Blender when you save the project.
When you save the project, yes.
Okay, or Adobe Photoshop when you save it as a PSD, right? But you can also add save as like JPEG, save as PNG file, etc. Right?
Yes.
So same thing with Blender. You can save it as a FBX, which
Uh-huh.
works well with Unreal, or you could save it as an OBJ, which is another format, and it still works with Unreal, as Dark was saying. But
Wow.
OBJ, you can use it on other software like a website that supports 3D or some other game engines. They support OBJ.
Wow.
So,
Hate to cut you off, but I see Dark's farm map. Do you
oh
see
yeah,
this?
yeah, he's very detailed. That's
Wow.
what I like about Dark. He
You know,
he tries to get the player immersed in his world.
yeah, I do notice that from the maps.
Yeah, and especially with the
Look
sound.
at all
Oh
the-
wait till you see the bats.
Whoa, wait. I'm liking this scene right here. What you got going on here, Dark?
Look at
What you got
that.
going?
Look at that.
Wow! Are those? Wow, he's got that Silent Hill ambience going on. Look at that.
Yeah,
Dark. I
can't
see
wait
what
for
you
the
did
sound
there.
effects. Look
He's
at
gonna have
that.
like the Silent Hill intro, like I just want to go like the intro cutscene from Silent Hill.
and look at this flies. I was gonna say fries.
You did you create those particle effects?
Yeah, I did. I
Wow.
at first I kind of like drew it and it kind of looked really bad. Um, I'm not gonna go hunting for it, but I imported the flies from the cult into here because it looked way better. So so
Yeah,
now they're using cult flies instead of
that's awesome.
instead of the one I had before.
Looks like
They're less cartoony.
some delicious roadkill barbecue. Wow. So tell us the story here you got going on. What level design craziness you got in your mind when you make these maps, especially this one?
Uh, it's mostly like inspired by other games. Like this one was definitely inspired by Outlast.
Alas, yeah, it's a
Wow.
game that I haven't yet to play.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I got to see him play it. I got to see Dark play Outlast. That was insane.
Yeah, I think that's the only experience I've had with Outlast as well.
I haven't played the new Outlast Trials, that multiplayer game.
Look at that. And those are sprites you made, right?
yeah.
It's
Is
pretty
that the
cool.
trough? The feed? Is that a rabbit? If I'm not mistaken.
With that?
Yeah.
No, it's the cattle's head, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, I'm
Yeah.
blind.
yeah.
I'm
This
like
is the
literally
feeder. This is
squinting.
the cow feeder that like went very like bad because
Let me put my
there's no
glasses on.
By the way, chat, if you guys have any questions for Dark in terms of level designing, feel free to shoot a message. He'll he'll follow up for sure.
Yeah, he loves questions.
Yeah, he thrives on them.
He does. He's like, yes, give me questions.
Yeah. So
So the sky, is this like the color that's gonna be like the natural color of the
Yeah, it's
design?
supposed to be like where the sun's actually going down.
Oh, like a sunset map.
Yeah, so it's like dusk.
so what vibes do you want? Like, how do you get the vibe going on? Like, what do you, how do you
How
get
do I get the
inspired?
atmosphere?
Yeah.
Well, you have to give the credit to Chanitz because he actually came out with this vibe.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So he got the vibe for that because he kind of had like an idea in his mind, and he went with that. And
Wow.
I was like, I was kind of on the same track. I just wasn't getting the colors that were necessary,
How do you get
and
those
he
rays
really
shoot
nailed.
up? How do you get those rays to appear?
Yeah, I'm using I'm
Is it
using a thing called volumetric fog,
got it?
Wow.
Can I see
and
the settings of how you applied it on the editor? So for the noobs.
Um,
yep, for
I'm gonna
sure.
like
Okay,
get like
okay.
cross sides. Like my eyes gonna like just turn into spirals, and I'm gonna get confused. But I'm looking. I'm looking.
I see. Oh, so there you said the fog
Uh,
density and the height, and that creates
that is so
the
cool.
sun the ray, right?
Right here, volumetric fog would create the ray.
I see. So it's not the sun that's doing that.
No, it's just where the direction is coming from. So
Gotcha.
based on where the light is actually hitting, which also the trees are getting
Yeah, that
the hit
that
too.
makes an awesome effect. Can't wait to
Yeah,
play this
yeah,
map.
and all the trees that are blocking the light is where the fog is actually getting the god rays. So that's how it's creating that look.
Bill Bill Burke says it looks really cool, and I agree. Like it's giving me Blood Moon vibes,
Oh,
kind.
you should show them the inside.
Oh, the inside. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, it does give me it gives me a little bit of Silent Hill vibes.
It gives me Resident Evil vibes. Like which one was it? Was it 5? No, no, no. 7. It was 7. You know the family?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it gives me that vibe.
Oh yeah, it does have that little
The
bit of
swamp
touch to it.
family.
Are you able to play as Joe or something so you can see the crows?
Yeah.
Wow. No way. No way.
Uh,
That's a lot of detail, Dark.
That's a little gory there.
Yeah.
Dark, I don't know. Sometimes I think you're a little twisted.
There's a I'm gonna have to play as a vampire because I forgot about the collision for the stairs.
Oh, okay, no
Oh,
I have
worries.
I deleted them a while ago because I I had planned to move the location of the house
Right.
and put it possibly over here, just to kind of like fit it with the competitive theme of the game.
And by the way,
wow.
the level's not baked, so once it's
Wow.
baked, it gives it an extra oomph.
It looks really good though, nevertheless. Like it's the first time I'm seeing this
Oh, look at the
recreation.
ambient sound they put into it. Oh,
So
I like the crows.
God, the sky looks amazing. Is
Yeah.
that the music?
And this only took them like what? It took you like a month?
Yeah,
Yeah. You really Dark, you really like for real, you came a long way. For real. When it comes to your maps, you really
Oh,
like
what's up with the rocking chair? It's supposed to be like a
I don't
ghost or
know.
something?
hmm
Same.
but I want to like stay away from that.
Yeah,
I'll
I
probably
understand.
just make it like this.
Right. Maybe make it subtle.
That's amazing, dude. Like, oh, I love that detail right there. Like, that you put on the like doors, the balconies, like the inside, like was that all you or was it like is it
The you what do you mean?
like those designs like the furniture, like all that stuff, like the what's
Oh,
that
it's on
word?
me. I'm
The debris.
the debris. Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
me.
Wow. Like how do you create that? Do you like distort it some way somehow? Because the way I really like the way you design like the furniture, like the setup. Oh, like
How do you
even
like approach creating environments that align with the gameplay mechanics?
I'm sorry. I'm like so.
Um, I it's a lot of questions over. Uh,
I'm excited.
yeah. Um, I usually just approach the environment just based on what the theme of the map's supposed to be. You kind of have to come up with a theme when you create your levels, you know?
Yeah.
If you're creating a level like, for example, this is the farm. Let's say like there's like a backstory, like these vampires had killed recently the people there and they've been dead for a while, so that's why the animals are decayed.
That
They've
makes
been
sense.
staying here for a while,
So you got
kind
okay.
of hiding out.
Do
Yeah,
you got
everything looks
any do
lovely.
you got any Easter eggs on this map?
I haven't implemented any just yet
Okay.
because based on like we're gonna be moving a lot of the locations around and
Right, right.
haven't added anything. But this is mostly what this part looks like, but it is definitely going to be a little bit different than what we have here.
I
Do
like
you
the
use
little.
do you use any tools besides UE?
I use Photoshop. I do use Blender. I
Do
pretty
you
much what I've
use
been using to kind of make some things for the maps too.
you've been actually getting better at it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're like a level designer and you can model, that's like you could get very far.
Definitely. Dude, you do not shy away from detail. Like I'm telling you, you really have a good concept in your head when you make these maps. I can tell that it's giving me so many like vibes, like something sickly. The scarecrows you got
Let me
going
see the
on there for
scarecrow.
oh my gosh.
Hey, Bill's asking if you got any tips for lag or optimization. Maybe you could show him some shortcuts, some tools, some commands.
Tips for lag or optimization.
Yeah.
Um, I would actually use this tool called Profile GPU. Um, pretty much you would need to like locate where your your game is lagging or having issues with FPS drops. I would just use this. It'll take a screenshot of this area to see what is actually bogging stuff down,
Wow.
which shows you mostly what's taking it up is shadows.
So the higher
So
number means the higher number milliseconds, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, is what is taking up all that performance and where it's going.
And we
So in
yeah.
this case, what you would want to do is actually bake your lighting, and that way you can actually reduce the amount of draw calls to the shadows.
And mind you, this is
So
for
this
Unreal
tool is,
Engine 4. So if you're on 5, I don't think you have to
yeah, it's the
worry
same
so
thing.
much. Oh, the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, same
Wow.
thing.
Oh,
You do if you are going to go for dynamic lighting, I would recommend actually using the performance tool. It's very handy. So you would just scroll down, you would go to performance, and you would reduce it based on what exactly you want to go for. I found that 3500 was the best range to go for because it's hardly noticeable. So when let's see, the lights aren't baked. but when you go far away, it'll slowly fade, but you won't see the lights no more. But it's hardly noticeable because when you come back, the lights are there.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I would just actually mess with that for the best results that you want to give.
Yeah, and depending on I guess what engine you're using, I'll also the only thing I could think of on top of my head is optimizing polys for the models.
Hmm.
Yeah, poly count. Poly
Poly count.
count's highly important. It's added on top of your lighting when you are using dynamic lighting.
Right. And also I guess if lighting like lights cross each other, it also
Yeah,
waters down
if
your
you have
game.
too many dynamic lights overlapping, it'll cause. So there's this optimization view mode, which is called light complexity, and it'll tell you exactly what is being overlapped.
Wow, that is so cool. That's a cool tool.
So blue being, very stable to green being good. You want to stay away from the red, especially the white, has too many overlaps. But since this wasn't such an issue because we're gonna make the light anyway, so this part is actually not a big deal.
Yeah, definitely a good skill
But
tip.
for any like stationary lights, you should be around the range of green, if anything, because you really want to stay away from anything going red to further.
I feel like
So see
I'm
the
like
pop
watching
in
this.
showing the distance
Oh, that's where you
being
added the
measured.
distance, right?
Yeah,
Okay, that it all makes sense now.
Vision. It's like
everything is
predator vision.
very
Predator vision.
It looks like
yeah.
predator vision. I just hear the sound, and then you see like a laser aiming somewhere.
Yeah, I see. You got you're
Yeah.
gonna have a predator on top of the tree.
It's gonna go up.
You have a wall of imagination, Roxy.
I do. I do. You can actually make a cool predator game like this. Like be like go where all the lighting is.
Yeah, for
Oh,
real.
I'm blind now.
So that's yeah, those are handy tips for sure.
That is
I'm trying to
so
think.
cool.
I'm trying to think of any other things. Yeah, just make sure you bake your levels as well.
Yeah, bake your lighting if needed.
Uh,
If
j-
if your light isn't gonna have like any kind of flickering, if it's not gonna be like if it's gonna be in a small space, especially like right here, you bake your lighting. Um, any areas that don't really have too many objects casting any lights. If you're using dynamic lights, just turn off shadows, which is very easy. Just go in here, set cast shadows to off, and boom.
and
As
that will bog
That
your
will not. It'll help with the performance, gaining performance back.
right
as
on.
a as a noob, when I think of baking, I just think of you putting your map physically into like the
In the
oven,
oven.
and
Yeah,
and you're just like cooking. You're just like baking the map. Like it's just like you just
yeah.
hear it and it's done.
Technically, that's not far from what it is. It's not far from what it is because you're essentially uh pretty much like burning the shadows into the areas.
Very cool. It's like kind of like blending it in a way, like it's all blending
Yeah.
together. Very
They call
natural.
it, that's why they call it baking.
Except
Ah,
you're baking your
it's
GPU
cooking.
at this time, like your GPU is taking a hit,
Mm-hmm.
or
Wait,
your
Bake.
CPU,
really?
depending on how you're baking.
Oh, the sky is amazing.
Yeah. Okay. You want to move on to the cult,
Sure.
or you want to showcase another level?
I could. It's going to be a lot more to talk about, but let's see. How about the.
You want to do the new one that you created?
Oh, yeah, yeah. You know it.
And there goes Dark away with the loading.
Yeah, he's slowly.
He's turning into Optimus Prime level designer as files compile.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do you think? Starting level designer should like focus on first. Maybe specific skills that need to acquire, or like design principles. You already talked about that. Start off with the
Yeah, uh,
basics.
yeah.
And
Just start off with the basics and have I guess, a decent understanding of modeling.
what about artistic skills? I know you told me you were talking to me about how you go about creating map, how it needs
Uh,
to all blend in or something. Like for me, I would just pop props everywhere.
yeah, it's not really the best way to design a level.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know how you are very crafty when it comes to modular assets as well.
Very cheap
Uh,
when I
Honestly, honestly excited what you got going on in the cult. I wonder what you got going on.
this is a underground layer. You wanna give us a backstory?
Oh,
oh yeah.
It's very
Um, it's gonna go a little slow because of the
yeah, no
shaders
worries.
still compiling.
there's a lot going on. All I see is strings, a stage. It's like a puppet show. Oh wait, never mind. You you go.
Did you face any challenges creating this map? I know you created this map fairly fast, but did you hit any
I would say like
roadblocks?
the only challenge I probably got was making a very small map, which is it's actually not that small.
Yeah, I think yeah, this is
um,
one of the smallest maps now that I recall.
yeah, yeah. It's it's just the overall layout of this. I had to work with what I had, so um, I just kind of like overcame that, and I started adding props where they were needed. And the huge inspiration for this was a map of Call of Duty. It was a zombie hell map of Call of
Oh, okay.
Duty, and I just had this idea to implement my own,
Awesome.
and I just kind of had a huge inspiration with that, and I just created this.
Yeah.
It's giving me Doom vibes. Wow. Them skulls.
I gotta say this is one of the funnest maps on Bloodbound because it's. Oh, I didn't see that.
Wow.
I hardly saw. That's actually really cool. That's the Easter egg right there.
That is so cool. Got some vampires sleeping in there. I really like that. For some
Okay, so
reason.
there's this angle over here uh, that I got. So this is actually inspired by Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh, I remember
Remember
that
when
game.
the big bat in the game where he like kind of grinded up those other squirrels and put them
Uh,
in,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
and then
The
he would like
hats.
drink it from the tube. That's where I got this idea.
And you created that effect.
Yeah, I created that.
How, how do you
Awesome.
how do you go about doing that? Is that a GIF or
It's a it's all in the shader.
okay?
I created layers.
Okay. Oh, nice.
I
Is that on
used
Photoshop?
I used normals. Yeah, yeah. You just use with
Oh,
Photoshop.
How do you get the
I just created
animation?
this symbol.
How do you get it to
Uh,
animate?
using the penner node.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
that's a lot, man. That's a lot of like different like values you probably added in there,
Does
huh?
that remind you of Blender,
It
Roxy?
does.
Yeah,
The nodes,
yeah.
geometric nodes, right?
Hmm?
They're like the geometric gnomes or whatever you call it.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
they're still
nodes.
nodes.
That's so cool. Yeah, now see, this is more up my alley now. I'm starting to understand these little different values and like
Yeah,
different.
and you could change the speed like through here. This is a instance, and the instance is just a from the normal material. You
That
can modify the values without actually recompiling shaders, which is what an instance is. It's
and that's
basically
okay.
for blueprints. It's there's a parent and then there's a child. So this is a child of the parent.
Got it. And that's
That is
because you
sick.
created the variable within the node, right?
Yeah, yeah. You
And
just create the variables, and they're all here, whatever you named them. And I modified it just slightly. All I needed was to change the speed to different ones. So instead, it used to go down and now it goes up, like it's feeding into something.
gotcha.
And that's
I
using
love it.
that tube is where it distributes all of the blood around, which would make sense.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That is so cool. I love the fire too. The chasms. It's like
How do you get that effect with the chains? Are they animated? I like how the shadow looks.
oh, that is sick. I just noticed that. Good eye. Wow.
Is it something
Yeah,
being moved or is the shadow being moved? I don't see anything being moved. That's why.
it's just a this is a shadow being casted from the light.
Uh huh.
It's
Oh,
a
look at
light
the.
function.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is
That's a
sick.
nifty trick for sure. But that is being cast to the walls.
Yeah, it's being casted to the walls.
Holy crap!
how
I
how
thought it
did
was
you
I thought it was something physical that was moving.
how did you learn all this, Dark? Like over the years, like starting off.
Well, when you work on a project for 8 years, you kind of like want to dig in and figure out the every little nick and cranny of the engine. So I just kind of spent
Wow.
my time on it.
Wow.
That's
This
awesome. Yeah.
really shows, dude. Like these maps you are showcasing us
Ooh,
has
nice coffins.
really show us like you really like your skills have definitely. I can tell you, you keep improving every time you work on a project. Like you just keep bringing in more detail. I noticed like especially with more professional people, they become more detailed with their work, and I've noticed
Yeah,
you really put in a lot more detail in your maps.
using the same flies and
Gotcha.
body parts. I created this in Blender,
Oh,
and then I
nice.
created the texture, and I got this result. I
You know
actually
what?
created a blueprint for it,
uh,
which allows you to adjust the head,
Oh, that's awesome. You can
That's
slide it down, right?
and you could set the model
Oh,
of the
that's
head,
awesome.
so you could change it. It's gonna
you
load.
Oh, I
you see
see.
you see this is
I
why
think
it's
I
See
good
like
to
right?
that
have
one. I think I like that one
this
better.
is why it's good
You
to
can even
have
do arm,
both skills.
Oh, I see.
or this is the leg.
This is a leg
Yeah,
skewer,
Yeah, that's cool.
a
and you
body
could
part
Oh, you can
skewer.
change
change
the
the
texture?
blood. You can change the blood texture yet.
That is so cool.
See, yeah, you could change it.
Mm,
This is why this is why being versatile, knowing Blender, knowing different programs and making your own blueprints come hand in hand, huh?
Yeah,
You can also like keep reusing your little like assets or props that you make too.
yeah,
Because I noticed you've been using I noticed the stuff that you make, you integrate it to your other work too. Like
yeah.
the
Especially
block
like
shot.
the use taking a lot of the use out of what I do in the cult, and
Mhm.
I'm using what I learned from there into here. I feel like using blueprints is very versatile because you have the creative freedom to do whatever you want instead of hand placing these one by one.
Right.
They're all together and you can just rotate them how you want. You don't really need to
mm.
adjust every little bit.
Yeah.
They're all constrained together.
Yeah, that makes your
It,
life easier for sure.
it's
Yeah.
giving killing floor vibes. I love it.
So, you guys want to move on to the cult?
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep, we can. But yeah,
Wow.
this is what the overall level looks like.
The edges remind me of hearts, like little heartbeats. They kind of look. They remind me of hearts.
Oh yeah, they do
Yeah.
look like a heartbeat from far away.
Yeah.
There's still some things that I can touch upon,
Uh-huh.
but I haven't added them yet.
Yeah, I can tell you're gonna put in a lot more detail. Wow, what is that?
Oh,
This would be the Slayer start.
Oh, so cool.
I like how you put details on the entrance, giving it a bigger open world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you call that? There's a name to it, right? I know God of War used to do that.
Oh,
Yeah, like
It just gives it a
I
sense of
forget the name of that.
gives it a sense of open world when kind of isn't and kind of not.